So this is an old video that you're going to watch. I started filming in November 2023 and it took me a year to post. So these are all archived clips. My thoughts might have changed, some might stay the same, but I'd like to post them because it's part of the journey and it's important to me and they matter to me. And it shows the journey and shows different thoughts I was going through to now, I guess. Yeah, video, peace. I just wanted to talk about sort of these tools that I have in my day-to-day life where I know I can use them to have fun or to relax me or to let off a bit of steam or to life directly, because I feel a lot of the time in my mind I'm trying to suffer intentionally, trying to dare to be great, I guess. And sometimes it gets stressful. Well, a lot of the time it gets stressful and you can take things too seriously and things can get on top of you. You can get overwhelmed. If you don't have the right tools, I think that's why most people stop, because they feel a little bit of discomfort. And like I say every time, I'm not doing anything massive. I'm not this David Goggins, don't get me wrong. But I'm trying a little bit. I'm trying it, as much as I can, to be uncomfortable. And it really does help when you have these tools. And an example is comedy. Like for me, if I'm in a bad mood or I need to de-stress, I've always got comedy. Stand-up comedy. I've got these select comedians that you just know make your day better. And I think it's a massive tool to have something like that really does just help you get on with life. Doesn't really negatively impact you. Like, no negative of me listening to these comedians, really. Might be a wasted time or wasted time, but there might be, the only negative I see is the time you're using to spend listening and watching them. You could be doing something better. But like I said, if you're managing everything well, have those moments of having a break. And one of the other things that I can use, a series of movies, for me that's like, you get me watching an episode or two of something, that completely chills me out. You see all the time on Joe Rogan talk about weed, people talk about weed, use that for a tool, and some people use it to chill out and relax. You know what I mean? All I gotta do is stick on a series of something. At the moment I'm on Yellowstone and Clarkson's Farm, sort of switching between the two of them. These tools that I have, I think you don't realise how impactful they are because they just seem like the norm for us. But whatever way it is that you need to figure out how to relax, that's how you should relax. See videos of people swimming, surfing, hiking. Don't get me wrong, they're probably better ones because you're actually in nature. You're back to your source. But whatever it is, as long as it's a healthy way of doing it, vaping, smoking, doing drugs, then I don't see an issue with having moments to de-stress. Drinking, for me, I don't see drinking as a good thing, but a lot of people do and de-stress using them methods. But I don't overdose on watching a series. It's a safe way to de-stress. Another one, watching UFC. These are your interests, these are my interests, and these are what I can see and can use when you need a little bit of comfort. You need a little bit of taking your mind off whatever you're obsessed with. As well, you use people to take your mind off things. I think growing up, I didn't utilize that tool of people. I just thought, well, you have to see your friends, and don't get me wrong, being with my mates is amazing. But I never saw it as a tool, as a luxury. Do you know what I mean? Something that I'm necessarily extremely grateful for. Because hanging around with people and having a laugh, there's no better feeling, really. It's one of the top feelings in life. Hanging out with your mates, and you've got good mates like I have. I think my point is, life is about managing stuff. That's what I think. That's what I'm sort of learning right now, is you do have to manage everything. I've always wondered and debated these 2 points of controlling things and just letting things happen. Again, I think there's a balance between the two. Not sure. You let life just let loose. You just let it naturally happen. And you can be one of those people that can do that. Good on you. Do that. I know for me, I can do that as well. But I do also have to have a lot of control, I think. I've always wondered, which one do you do? I always seem to have this dilemma between two options that work well, but too much of them, and they don't work well, basically. I try and control every aspect of my life. I don't feel free. I feel like everything's forced. For example, the last 2 weeks, I've had this drive, I've had this exercise drive, and this drive at work, this intensity to just work, just keep going, and be active, and you know what I mean? And I understand that I personally don't want that all my life, don't get me wrong. Then naturally, I've just had a weekend where it's just all pretty much just chill. You know, no stresses, there's no having to do anything, it's letting life relax. And I think one of the things you've got to do is you do have to relax. Whatever way you can find to unwind, and they're your tools, then it really does aid you in life. I think a lot of issues with some people is that they just don't switch off. They're just constant. And I wonder if that's why TikTok and these short form video platforms do really well. I think it's because it's easy for people to switch off and scroll. The only issue is after you've scrolled, you're back on it again. You're probably even worse, you're not relaxed completely. But these people that just cannot switch off, don't get me wrong, some people are fantastic with it. They don't mind it at all. That's the life they want to live. But for the people that are confused, I think try and get some tools in place, some form of way to de-stress, relax, unwind, and that could be going for a run. I don't mean you have to sit at home and just relax and watch telly, saying that that's the answer. Like for me, another way that I can relax is also going on a run. Last week I did another half marathon. Well, I think it was 17 miles, 16 and a half it was actually. And surprisingly, that unwinds me. That relaxes me. And I thought that would do that. You know, that's crazy that you're running, you're absolutely dying on the treadmill, doing 16 miles, and then you relax. But it's that you exerted yourself, you've given it your all, you've knackered you. Then you know, I need this guilt in my head that I can't relax. I can relax as much as I want because I am dead. I've done it, you know what I mean? I've given it my all. And that's the way I relax as well. And I get just as much relaxation as that, as watching a series at night. You know what I mean? And I know people say I'm probably a bit serious, a bit intense, but for me, you've got to think of these things and you've got to try and improve your life. For me, the more I think, the more I try and test things, the better my life gets. That's what I've seen. So you just got to try things. You've got to work out your life. You can't just sit there and complain and moan and say, oh, it's not fair, he's got this and this, or how do you do this? At one point, I never knew anything. I didn't know what made me me. And you just got to try things. You just got to try whatever you can, basically. But, yeah, at work now, so peace.